between what the Clippers and Lakers did this whole season for this trade deadline, like we'll start with the Lakers. The Lakers, they gave up Russell Westbrook, and then they Pat Bev, Thomas Bryant, and Kendrick Nunn, and one first round draft pick and some seconds, and they got back D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, Devon Reed, and Rui Hachimura. When you sit there and you look at that, like the problem with the Lakers roster was like you had all these G Leaguers playing
Yeah.
extended roles. Now you basically go out and get one, two, three, four, five legit rotation players between.
Yep.
Man, I don't know what's going on out there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to soundproof my room. But 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 you go out and you go get a D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, and then Rui Hachimura. All five of those guys are going to play playoff minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think D'Angelo, we'll see as far as on the defensive end. I think that's always a question mark with him, but offensively, he is such a huge upgrade over what they had before. And I think he could be a great fit returning to LA, the team that drafted him originally. I think the sneaky big value out of this is Jared Vanderbilt. Huge fan of his game. I think he's a guy that could be that perfect match next to Anthony Davis, another defender. I think the front court defensive line of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Vanderbilt is sneaky, really, really good, which could make up for some of the deficiencies that D'Angelo Russell will bring on the point of attack at the guard position. So I like the value. I think when you look at what they gave up, this is about as good as it could get for them. I'd be pretty happy if I was a Lakers fan. I still don't think they're good enough to be a contender, but they've got more pieces to build around. You only give up one first round pick, which is huge because now you can get into the summer, convey another one of those picks over to New Orleans, and now you've got some more room to play with. Now you've got a potential another first round pick that you can use for another trade bargain. As we mentioned, this summer could be crazy with another round of moves. So they might not be contenders this year, but I think they're building up that foundation to where they've got the pieces to where they're not going to be that team rolling out a bunch of G Leaguers like you mentioned before. I think they're building a strong roster, and you never know if you get that Anthony Davis back that you had earlier in the season along with this roster, then you might talk that they might could do some serious damage. So I like the moves. I think for what they had to play with, I think they did just fine.
All right, and then the Clippers. How do you feel they ended the day? So they went and got Bones Highland from Denver, Eric Gordon, and Mason Plumlee, and all they lost was Luke Kennard basically out of their rotation, which Ty Lue was kind of shaky with his minutes anyways. But in
Right.
Mason Plumlee, they got a backup big, and then Eric Gordon comes back. You get another shooter off the bench, or I don't know how they're going to play him. And then Bones Highland, you got a young stud. And they didn't give up Terrence Mann. That was a big piece of the conversation. Was Terrence Mann going to go or not? But they were able to keep him. And I think the only major piece for them that they need now is probably just go out and go get you a legit starting point guard, right? Or
Russell Westbrook. That's the name. That's the name that's on the buyout market. So we'll see. It looks like they might be going after Russ, which, I mean, we'll see how that works out if that is the case. But I do overall like their deadline. I think Bones Highland has a lot of talent. They definitely, if you've been paying attention to Denver the last 2 weeks, he's basically been out of the rotation and he's had a lot of friction. I'm not sure if there's some rumblings that he wanted a bigger role or just didn't really get along with Coach Malone over there. So not really sure what stirred all of this, but him getting traded was like the least shocking thing of the day because we all pretty much saw that coming. But I think he's a talented guy that could run on that second unit with a guy like Eric Gordon. They've got some good depth now, guys that could fill in and start during the inevitable times when guys like Kawhi and Paul George are missing games, which we know will continue to happen. So I like the move. Mason Plumlee is another good backup big. I think he was a good asset to bring in as well. They'll be active in the buyout market. So I think they're another team to just compete in the West. I don't think they did anything that makes me think otherwise.